Hello, namaskar and welcome to Express News with me, Deepika, your window to quick and crisp 100 news and updates from the country and the world. Let's begin. Big setback to Mamata government. Calcutta High Court orders a court-monitored CBI probe into the incidents of post-poll violence in West Bengal. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur welcomes court's decision, says no place for violence in democracy. Praising the Calcutta High Court order for a CBI probe into serious cases of post-poll violence in West Bengal, the BJP says the court has given a strong message that anarchy has no place in any part of India and asks Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee to introspect. Calling Mamata Banerjee a failed CM, BJP spokesperson Gaurav Bhatia alleged that her government did not ensure security of people and asked her to now stand with the law and discharge her constitutional obligations. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh virtually takes part in Annapurna Utsav via video conferencing. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says the Prime Minister Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana has been beneficial to the downtrodden sections in the country and in Haryana amid the pandemic. Rajnath Singh said the PM Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana is being extended for 3 months so that people can reap the benefits of the scheme for a longer time. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh launches Defence India Startup Challenge 5.0. Rajnath Singh launches Defence India Startup Challenge 5.0. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh lauds DRDO, IAF and the industry for indigenous development of this critical technology, terming it as one more step of DRDO towards Atmanirbhar Bharat in strategic defence technologies. Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur's Jan Ashirwad Yatra reaches Himachal's Parvanu. Addressing the gathering, Union Minister said that newly inducted cabinet is amongst youngest and will work for overall development in the country. Union Law and Justice Minister Kiren Rijiju started the 3-day Jan Ashirwad Yatra in Arunachal Pradesh. He started the Yatra from state BJP headquarters. This Yatra will cover 6 districts of Arunachal Pradesh and will end in Namsai on 21st of August. On this occasion, Kiren Rijiju has set provisions of security citizens. Union Minister Narayan Rane kick-started his Jan Ashirwad Yatra from Mumbai. Union Minister to conclude his Yatra on 26th of August at Sindhudurg district of Maharashtra. Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav embarked on the BJP's Jan Ashirwad Yatra in Odisha and described the state as his Karma Bhumi. Union Education Minister Dharmendra Singh Pradhan also was with Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav during the Jan Ashirwad Yatra in Odisha. Pradhan also pays a visit to Jagannath Temple in Puri today. Union Culture, Tourism and NER Development Minister G. Kishan Reddy takes part in BJP Jan Ashirwad Yatra in Vijayawada. Union Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal takes part in Local Goes Global Make in India for the World program in Mumbai. In his address, Piyush Goyal says there is need to promote shipping and semiconductor industries in the country. He added that government is committed to promote these industries. In Bihar, there is no let-up in flood situation. Over 40 lakh people spread over 26 districts, including Patna, Katihar, Samastipur and Munger, are reeling under the impact of floods. Assam has reported 639 new COVID-19 cases. In the last 24 hours, number of recoveries stood at 1,024, taking the total recoveries to 5,68,137. In Nagaland, the 15-day-long fifth phase of unlocking began today. Unlock 5 will continue till 2nd of next month. With the administration of 56,36,336 vaccine doses in the last 24 hours, India's COVID-19 vaccine coverage has surpassed the figure of 56.64 crores yesterday. The feat has been achieved through 63,13,210 sessions. The recovery of 39,157 patients in the last 24 hours has increased the cumulative tally of recovered patients to 3,15,25,080. Consequently, India's recovery rate stands at 97.53%, the highest since March 2020. High recoveries and a low number of new cases have subsided the active case load to 3,64,129, which is at its lowest in 149 days. Active cases presently form only 1.13% of the country's total positive cases, which is the lowest since March 2020. The testing capacity across the country continues to be expanded. The last 24 hours saw a total of 18,73,757 tests being conducted. India has so far conducted over 50.03 crore cumulative tests. Weekly positivity rate stands at 1.95%, remains less than 3% for the last 55 days now. The daily positivity rate also stands at 1.94%. The daily positivity rate has remained below 3% for the last 24 days and below 5% for 73 consecutive days now. India has achieved the milestone of the last 10 crore tests in only 55 days. The BSE, Sensex and NSE Nifty are closed for trading on Thursday, 19th on account of Muharram. The currency markets are also shut for the day. Gold prices fell sharply today in global markets. Spot gold fell 0.7% to $1,774.41 per ounce. In India, futures trading on MCX was closed today for the first half due to public holiday. Silver also dropped sharply, falling 1.6% to $23.10 per ounce. Platinum dropped 0.8% to $9,806.49. Oil dropped to below $66 a barrel on Thursday, its lowest since May, pressured by concerns about weaker demand as COVID-19 cases rise. The price of diesel was lowered by 20 paise a litre for the second consecutive day on Thursday. After the price revision, diesel sold at 89.47 rupees per litre in the national capital. However, petrol price has remained unchanged at 101.84 rupees a litre. India Ratings on Thursday cut its FY 2020 gross domestic product growth estimate for India to 9.4% from 9.6%, saying while there has been a strong recovery after the second COVID-19 wave, the aim of vaccinating the entire adult population by year-end would not be met. The Reserve Bank of India has issued revised guidelines for locker and safe custody facility in view of various developments in the area of banking and technology, nature of consumer grievances and the feedback received from banks. In a notification issued, RBI said the new guidelines will be effective from 1st of January 2022 and be applicable to new as well as existing lockers. Accordingly, banks will have to maintain a branch-wise list of vacant lockers and a wait list to ensure transparency. Banks would also need to adopt the model locker agreement to be framed by the Indian Banking Association that will incorporate a clause prohibiting the customer to keep illegal or hazardous items in a bank's locker. The world continues to fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Over 21 crore people have been infected by COVID-19 so far. More than 18.83 crore people worldwide have recovered from the virus. Over 44 lakh people have lost their lives to the virus globally. The United States has remained the worst hit country since the beginning of the pandemic. The cases have seen a surge once again. The country has reported more than 3.80 crores cases so far, while the death toll in the US has surpassed 6.41 lakhs. President Joe Biden's administration will require nursing home after to be vaccinated against COVID-19 as a condition of participating in the Medicare and Medicaid programs. Biden's announcement of a vaccine requirement for healthcare workers in nursing homes and long-term care comes as government researchers on Wednesday said that vaccine effectiveness for residents of those facilities has dropped since the Delta variant became dominant in the United States. Top U.S. health officials announced Wednesday that the country plans to start offering COVID-19 booster shots to all Americans beginning the third week of September. World Health Organization said Wednesday that it strongly opposes booster shots for all adults in rich countries because the boosters will not help slow down the pandemic. Australia has suffered its worst day since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, with total daily cases surpassing the previous record posted more than a year ago as the Delta variant outbreak spreads as far as New Zealand. European Union has issued a joint statement on the situation of women and girls in Afghanistan. It said the European Union is deeply worried about Afghan women and girls, their rights to education, work and freedom of movement. European Commissioner for Home Affairs Ylva Johansson on Wednesday said the bloc needs to immediately evacuate its staff and people working for the member states from Afghanistan to avoid a migratory crisis. Protest continues in Afghanistan. At least 3 people were killed in anti-Taliban protest on Wednesday in the city of Jalalabad. Former Afghanistan President Ashraf Ghani on Wednesday made his first appearance since leaving Kabul on Sunday as the Taliban encircled the capital. Speaking from exile in the United Arab Emirates, Ghani said he had left Kabul to prevent bloodshed and denied reports he took large sums of money with him as he departed the presidential palace. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin on Wednesday said U.S. troops are focused and engaged on securing the airfield and therefore they do not have the capability to help get people to the airport. U.S. President Joe Biden said on Wednesday that he is committed to keeping U.S. troops in Afghanistan until every American is evacuated. He further added that the U.S. troops may stay in Afghanistan past 31st of August deadline to evacuate Americans. Biden defended his decision, saying problems were inevitable in ending the 20 years U.S. involvement over there. He added that it was impossible to anticipate the collapse of U.S.-backed Afghan forces and the speed with which the Taliban took over the country. A top U.S. diplomat on Wednesday said the United States expect the Taliban to allow Afghans who wish to leave Afghanistan to depart safely. United Nations on Wednesday started moving up to a third of its international staff out of Afghanistan to Kazakhstan, but stressed the world body is committed to staying and delivering in support of the Afghan people in their hour of need. A plane carrying evacuees fleeing the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan arrived in Spain on early Thursday morning. The plane brought 53 people, 5 of them Spanish diplomats. Over 200 people evacuated from Kabul arrived in France on Wednesday. This is third evacuation flight carrying French nationals following the Taliban takeover of the Afghan capital. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg will tomorrow chair an emergency meeting of foreign ministers from the 30-nation military alliance to discuss developments in Afghanistan. A female Afghan news presenter has claimed she was not allowed to return to work by the Islamist group. In a video on Twitter, Shabnam Dauran said she was torn away from her job on Afghanistan's state-owned radio television, Afghanistan. According to the United Nations, about 500,000 children currently have limited or no access to shelter, safe water and food in Haiti. In Argentina, thousands of Argentines protested throughout the country on Wednesday to demand work for the unemployed and better housing conditions. For Amazonians children, a new opportunity has spurred their own Olympic dream as the indigenous sports program seeks Brazil's next canoeing sports stars. These indigenous children are at home on the water where they regularly fish and travel in family canoes. Animal abuse is rising in South Korea, to tackle which Chao Jing-min, the Justice Ministry's Director General of Legal Counsel, plans to pass an amendment to the law which will do away with the clause that treats animals as objects. The amendment, which is likely to be passed during its next regular session in September, would make South Korea one of a handful of countries to recognize animals as beings with the right to protection, enhanced welfare and respect for life. In northern Nigeria, some men keep hyenas as pets or perform with them at festivals, but one traditional leader says the culture is dying as it clashes with modern ideas about animal welfare. Keeping wild animals as pets is ingrained in northern Nigerian culture. Amid this, Chinedu Mokba, who founded the Green Fingers Wildfire Conservation Center, believes keeping hyenas as pets is devastating to the ecosystem. To shouts of RIP his head off and oh my god, gladiators in medieval armor battle it out with steel swords and axes. One Saturday a month in a New York City Central Park, in one-on-one matches, members of Gladiators NYC wear helmets, chain mail and full armor weighing up to 100 pounds. They bash each other in the head with real weapons and violently kick, punch and throw each other in the throat using full contact mixed martial arts techniques in 3 one-minute rounds. In melee matches, up to 4 knights fight to the finish until one is left standing. Ninjas fascinate children and grown-ups alike. This ninja culture has been a part of Japanese history. Now it is spread to Egypt, thousands of miles away from the home of ninjutsu martial arts. In Japan, a ninja lover and trainer is performing fascinating moves and tricks, this time in the green fields of Egypt's Nile Delta city of Zagazig. Clad in a ninja's traditional dark garb, the 45-year-old Egyptian trainer Abdul Qadir Ahmad made his childhood dream a reality. Abu the Ninja also trains young civilians in parkour and breakdancing and still spends most of his time outdoor with swords, practicing the sport he loves. 19-year-old pilot Sarah Rutherford took off on Wednesday at the start of a 51,000 kilometers bid to become the youngest woman to fly solo around the world. Rutherford departed from Kortrijk-Wiltem Airport in Western Belgium in her Shock Ultralight, the world's fastest micro-light aircraft. The British-Belgian flyer hopes her voyage will encourage more girls and women to study and work in science, technology, engineering and mathematics and spark girls' interest in aviation. Boston Dynamics humanoid robot Atlas has been showing off its new skill, parkour or free running. A new video shows Atlas leaping over obstacles, doing backflips and even falling flat on its face during practice runs. Atlas stands 5 feet tall, weighs 86 kilograms, uses hydraulics and battery-powered electric motors for movement and has 3 onboard computers. It is being designed to be used as a research and development tool, and its Boston Dynamics team are encouraged to push it to the limit. The remains of the late freedom fighter Hong Byung-do have returned home after 78 years. South Korean President Moon Jae-in bestowed the highest honor of Order of Merit for National Foundation to the general in a ceremony. The government has granted a posthumous Medal of Honor to General Hong Byung-do, who led battles against colonial Japan. This comes after his remains were returned from Kazakhstan. Hong was laid to rest at Daocheon National Cemetery on Wednesday morning. Simona Halep pulls out from her second-round match at the WTA Cincinnati Masters on Wednesday due to a right thigh injury. Halep suffered the injury at the US Open hard-court tune-up event. Olympic champion Alexander Zverev struck gold at the ATP Cincinnati Masters on Wednesday with his first victory at the US Open tune-up event in 7 attempts. World number 1 Ashley Barty progresses to the Western and Southern Open last 16 with victory over Britain's Heather Watson in straight sets on Wednesday 18th. Barty broke serve 3 times and won 84% of her 4 serve points to claim 6-4, 7-6 win in an hour and 46 minutes. Andy Murray is out of the Cincinnati Masters after a straight-set second-round loss to ninth seed Hubert Hurkacz. Two-time champion Murray lost a tie break in the first set before being broken in the late in the second by his Polish opponent. Speaking on after beating American teenager Coco Gauff at the Cincinnati Open on Wednesday, world number 1 Naomi Osaka says she felt ungrateful at times last year for being unable to appreciate her success. Top seed Daniil Medvedev will next play former world number 3 Grigor Dimitrov, against whom he holds a 2-1 ATP head-to-head series lead. They most recently played in the semi-finals of the 2019 US Open, where Medvedev triumphed in straight sets. Tokyo 2020 silver medalist Maria Andracek from Poland has auctioned off her medal to send an 8-month-old boy to Stanford University for heart surgery. Zapka, a Polish store chain, won the auction with a bid of $125,000 and then returned the medal to her. India's 4x400 meter mixed team relay team won a bronze medal in the Under-20 World Athletics Championship on Wednesday. President of World Athletics Sebastian Coe also congratulated Team India on winning exploits. After an amazing performance by men's hockey team at Tokyo 2020, the team has now climbed up to 3rd position in the FIH Men's Ranking Hockey World category. Mercedes have announced they will withdraw from Formula E at the end of the year 2022 Season 1 to concentrate on Formula 1. The news comes 3 days after Mercedes EQ secured the all-electric series teams championship and drivers title during the final race in Berlin. The shooting of the upcoming film Tiku Vets Sheru will start in the first week of November. This recent update about the movie has been shared by actor Kangana Ranaut on her Instagram account. Actors Apar Shakti Khurana and Pranutan Bhal starred Helmet is getting a digital release. It will premiere on Z5 on the 3rd of September. Popular streaming giant Netflix has announced its new anthology title Unkahi Kahaniyan, set to release on 17th of September. Ajay Devgan on Thursday praised Akshay Kumar's performance in his patriotic flick Bell Bottom. He took to Twitter to laud his work. American actors Sterling K. Brown and Rentoul Park have joined hands for an untitled action comedy set up at Amazon Studios. Actors Bryan Cranston, Hope Travis, Jeffrey Wright and Liev Schreiber have joined the cast of Ace filmmaker Wes Anderson's next directorial venture. Singer-songwriter John Mayer recently dropped the music video of Wild Blue, his latest release from Soft Rock, his 8th studio album. This year's biggest stars will be performing at the 2021 MTV Video Music Awards. Olivia Rodrigo, Lil Nas X and Camila Cabello are some of the names that will be performing this year. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier star Anthony Mackie has been grabbed to star in Marvel's Captain America 4. And lastly, hip-hop stars are helping to welcome the arts back to New York City with 5 free concerts dubbed It's Time for Hop Hop in NYC between 14th to 22nd of August. Mayor Bill de Blasio and the Universal Hip Hop Museum teamed up to present the shows as part of the Mayor's NYC Homecoming Week. And that's all for now in this bulletin, but news continues here on DD India. Keep watching. Namaskar.